Funkalicious Tunes. Can we turn down the Funkalicious Tunes a little bit before we get shouted at by somebody? Here we are. Let's put the music down. Quite a bit. There we are. That's better. Now everything else will be fine. Right. Okay, that all looks perfectly straightforward. Yada yada yuti. Let's get on with Weeping Falls Massacre, which is a game of which I don't know very much about, apart from the fact that it seems to be a little bit excitable. January 25th, 1992. Troubled by nightmares from his past, Eric Stoll awakens in his apartment on the outskirts of Weeping Falls. Get dressed, grab a backpack and flashlight. Well, I'm glad that I'm going to get dressed, at least, before I leap out of the house. Goodness, that's not something that any of us needed to see on this Thursday afternoon, but we did it anyway, and we're just going to have to deal with that fact, and I'm very sorry about that. Right. That's not how you spell murder. Never mind. Right. Where, may I ask, my clothes? Oh, I've realised these are VHS. Oh, the VHSs. These are cassette tapes, aren't they? Yes, that explains why it's spelt wrong, because it'll be an album, because musicians these days have to be weird. Right, where are my clothes? Probably in some kind of wardrobe. Here is my backpack. We've got that sorted out. And here's the flashlight. Good stuff. Where are my clothes? I presumably must own some. Gideon. I clearly don't own any washing detergent, however. Is this my wardrobe? Goodness, I must be... Oh no, this is a pillar. Wrong thing. Right, am I dressed now? Much better. Much more presentable. One of the few photos I have of Kyle and I from the orphanage. I was the lucky one that got adopted. Ah, okay. So that explains my interest in the orphanage, going off this old map that we've got here. A map of Weeping Falls. Not a very clear one, I might add. It looks more like a bunch of synapses, but what do I know? Right, what sort of news do we have here? No new leads. It has been a month since the tragic events at Weeping Fall Orphanage, and the police have no new leads to report or any suspects in the murder that left the town decimated. Some have begun to suspect a cover-up, or perhaps the police withheld information and deaths and details something late in the case. The police have sectioned off large parts of the surrounding areas of the orphanage and denied all access to them from the public. The town of Weeping Falls continues to live in fear as a possible serial killer may have been lurking around the corner. We here at WF Herald will follow this case for as long as it takes. We believe the town has a right to know what is really going on and deserves the truth. Indeed, how exciting. What else do we have? Massacred orphanage. A truly tragic event unfolded at a local orphanage in the town of Weeping Falls last night. Police received an anonymous call frantically demanding they drive out to the orphanage immediately. Or you could just ring the police and say, hello, there's people being murdered, please come down here and stop it. It's sort of your job. Upon arrival, the police searched the building and found the bodies of multiple staff members and children. They appear to have been murdered and their bodies mutilated. Goodness. Is that a picture of a body? I think it is. I think those are shoes, aren't they? After months of silence, police mysteriously decided to close the Weeping Falls Massacre case. Locals left outraged. WF Herald has reached out to the police department for comment, but none was given. Interesting. So there's something a bit mysterious going on. January 24th. I had the same dream again last night. Kyle is calling out for me to help him, but there is nothing I could do. It has been a decade since the incident at the orphanage, but I still feel guilty. Why me? Why was I the one to be adopted and not him? I guess it was just dumb luck. I've made up my mind. I'm finally pushing forward with my plan, for Kyle's sake. I will return to Weeping Falls Orphanage and find out what really happened there. I must know the truth in order to put this all behind me. If you are out there somewhere, I am sorry. Goodness. New journal entry. Goodness. Did I do that? Yes, okay, that's right. No items in inventory, and here are buttons that you can press. Cool. Right then. I think I have everything I need. Yes, I have my flashlight. Let me hold it military style, just to be extra spooky pooky. What have you been watching on this screen, and why were you standing up while you were, such that this window has gotten thoroughly pasted in white stuff? You know what? Don't answer that question. I don't want to know. Right. Never mind. Let us try and escape. I do not need to use the bathroom. Ugh. Turns out the door was over here. I was just being stupid. No surprises there, then. Alright then, so presumably I'm going to go off to the orphanage and try and solve the mystery of all these murders that went on. Presumably Carl was one of my friends at the orphanage who got murdered along with everyone else. Along with the frame rate. Alright, if it would just like to calm down for a second. There we are, that's better. Are you sure you want to leave? No, because I think I've only just got here. Although I must confess I'm not entirely sure where here is. Presumably this isn't my apartment. I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say this probably isn't the apartment. Okay then, right. Do not enter. No. I love that the police didn't even lock this in an attempt to stop people from entering. You know, where I come from, you sort of, if you want something to happen, you have to put in some sort of positive actions to make it happen. Not just, oh, this frame rate. Not just put a sign up and hope. Okay, this looks a bit more heavy duty. This is how you stop people from getting in. The front doors have been gated and locked. I cannot get through here. The side entrance by the greenhouse might be open. Which side do you mean? Idiot. They barred up the windows. Were the windows barred before or after? Because if they were barred up after, that means something so terrible happened, and something was inside which was so terrible that they needed to keep it inside. Gideon, the frame rate. Oh, the frame rate. And if they didn't, that means it was barred up when it was a functioning orphanage. Which is, again, a bit scary. Okay, presumably it's not that side. Let's trot off over to the other side and see if the greenhouse is over here instead. Perhaps down this way. Yeah, here we are. This looks a little bit more promising. Yes, here we are. Looks like I'm not the only person that has been here recently. Evening. Would you mind not being quite so spooky and pokey? The plank is nailed to the wall. With the right tool, I could pry it free. Yeah, indeed. Or just a rather enthusiastic shoulder. But, alright. I shall see what I can find. Presumably a hammer or a crowbar or a... Yeah, this should do the job nicely. Picked up iron crowbar. Excellent. You wouldn't want to steal one. That would just be a pain in the neck. Okay then, let's see if I can get these off. Huzzah! Excellent. I'm glad I didn't have to go into the inventory to do that, because it's always a pain in the neck when you have to do that. Okay then, anything of interest in here? A plant. Another plant. A tertiary plant. Spiffing. Right. Never mind. That doesn't seem to have achieved much. Was that just like a little tutorial? The door's locked. I remember there being a spare key hidden under a potted plant in the glass room. In the greenhouse. Interesting. Can I sort of pick these things up and move them around, perhaps? Or is it like, ah, here it is. How do I do this? Pick the key up. Oh, you got it? Ah, just need to stare at it with my psychic mind powers and then it would fly off. Spiffing. Right, I'm not just any old investigator. I'm a clever one. Is that a gate shutting behind me? Oh no, I'm locked inside. It won't budge. No, indeed, and there's no use jumping out the windows because they're all barred up, so I can't use that normal excuse. I feel like I might take this rake with me. That might come in handy. Maybe not against the ghosts, but maybe against something or someone else. Is that the ghost of Kyle? He's trying to guide me towards where I'm supposed to be going, to help me find the truth. That sounds cool. I turn this off for a second because it's a bit bright to see what's going on right now. Right, what do we have here? From David Foster, director, to Alison Phillips, teacher. We have received your complaints about the children not returning to class from restroom breaks. You will be happy to hear that we are installing a large metal door with a combination lock leading to the common area. In addition, we have hired a new staff member by the name of John Torrance to patrol the grounds as well as escort children to and from the restroom. Please announce these changes to all of the children in your classes and let them know the punishment will follow those who do not follow these new protocols. Goodness, that's a bit strict. What have we here? This looks cool. What? Oh, okay. So I can press tab to cycle through these different cylinders. And then I can turn these to get different colours to come up. Presumably to get some kind of combination correct. But I need to figure out what the combination is first. Okay, so I need to find like a colour code of some sort. Nice. You're telling me not to leave until I've sorted this out. Thank you. I like that bit of design. So it's green, yellow, red, green, blue. So it is green, yellow, red, green, blue. Oh, that's cool. Teacher's office key. Ah, I was wondering, what is the point of this combination? I was going to complain about it in a minute the next time we didn't have anything to talk about. But what was the point of that combination? Because it didn't look like it was so heavy you couldn't pick it up. Especially since I seem to have a real set of strength about me. Giddy on. I can really chuck stuff about when I set my mind to it. Potentially literally set my mind to it, since I seem to be doing it with my psychic mind powers. Once again, or at the very least I'm doing it one-handed. But yes, but that's interesting. I didn't realise that was going to open the key, or rather open to give me a key. Presumably it goes in here. Yes, teacher's office. Right then, somebody was into their Lepidoptera. Okay, anything in here? Let's just turn that off for a second. We have a tape, no markings on it to see what it might be though. Can you put that away please? Some files. I can't see what's in that one, nor can I see what's in that one. Nothing in there. More files. Nothing that can be seen in there. And there's more files in that one. And in that one, I think. What have we here? More, it took my eye out with it. More things I can pick up and turn around. Maybe there's something hidden on the back of one of them. No, seemingly not, unless it's that one. It seemed a little too obvious though, given how close it is. Oh, no, it's not. Goodness, I've no paper and pens to hand, because, I literally only got back yesterday and I haven't finished unpacking. Sorry, I'm being very unprofessional. Let me see if I can find a piece of paper. Here's a notebook. A green notebook for all of you, coloured notebook enthusiasts. Well, where shall I write it? I'll write it here underneath the parody of a song I was writing the other day. Right. FBE. If you're curious, parody of song fans out there, it's a parody of a classic song whereby it talks about eating biscuits in bed, which is just a symptom of the madness, I assure you. Right then, can we listen to the tape? Play tape. Select tape from a drop-down menu. Oh, cool, I think.
Today, John finished the installation of the new metal door and lock leading to the common area. I hope this will keep my students from sneaking off during class. I spoke with Director Foster this morning, and he informed me that John will be staying on the grounds permanently. A room has been made out for him in the cellar. It's good to have an extra set of hands around here, especially at night when most of the staff leave. I have to be honest though, I don't know why Director Foster has picked John for this task. What is his background or qualifications? I don't have access to his files, so I don't know much about him. I'll ask the other staff. Perhaps they might have heard or know something about him. Anyways, I've got the code for the new combination lock. I wrote it down and hid it behind one of my insect display cases, just in case I forget it.
Ah, well, that's absolutely spiffing if you ask me. Why am I putting on a posh British accent? I've got a posh British accent. Trust me, people have noted it. Right, never mind. Okay, she sounded positively Victorian, didn't she? What's all this about? Goodness, this is like a component for a larger puzzle. A lock cylinder. Yes, indeed. Right. Anything else I can open? Yep, there's nothing in there that I can have. Right, yes. Does sound positively Victorian. Hang on, what was the date it said at the beginning of the game? It said 1992? And this guy must be at least 20. And if he was adopted, I mean, looking at the ghost of Kyle, he looks like he was about, I don't know, I'd guess somewhere between the ages of 8 and 10, perhaps? 8 and 10 years old? That would be my guess. Ah, this is where that thing goes. Yes, indeed. So that probably means it happened about 10 years ago, which means it would have happened in the early 80s. But she sounded a lot older. Her voice sounded a lot older than that. Not in terms of like her age, just in terms of like.
Eric, stay out of the basement.
Bigger stuff smokers for the ghostly dead people. Can we turn this off? No, seemingly we can't. Right, let's just get away from it before A, it deafens us, and B, we get a copyright strike for it. Right, yes, I just mean that her voice sounds like it comes from olden times rather than anything else. Alright then, so we've got an upstairsy area, and then we've got a large area here that's not being used for anything, because that's an efficient architectural design. Let's see what we've got in here. A kitchen, it seems like. What the hell? What kind of painting is that? Is there a face there? Oh, like a mechanical face. Right, sorry. I know I have this horrible habit of seeing things in paintings which aren't there. So I apologise. I apologise for my hallucinations, and we'll move swiftly on. There must be something in here I need. Thus far we haven't had any sort of empty, pointless rooms. There must be... Aha! A key. The playroom key. Can I have the light back, please? Thank you. I feel slightly scared when I don't have it out. Okay then, so here is a bathroom. Quite a spacious one for an orphanage. I would have thought they'd been a little bit more cutthroat with the old space. As for me and my house. Oh, okay, so perhaps this had some sort of religious sort of teachings going on in there, but like you sort of like religious schools. Maybe it was like a religious orphanage as well. I don't know whether those exist, but it seems like a sort of a natural sort of combination that would go along. You'd imagine sort of religious people would be the kind of folks that might get into that sort of charitable work, is what I'm trying to convey. Right, playroom key was used, and suddenly I regretted that fact. Evening, madam. How are you? And how is your very, very scary face? Right, well, Chucky's little sister has introduced herself, and frankly, she can go and die of fire. Right, well, I had plenty of toys, which I must say is much better than I would have expected out of an orphanage. I always imagine everything's dreadful there. This drawer is locked, and there is no keyhole. Oh, do I need to input a little code here, perhaps? Perhaps I do. Right, here's another player, which implies that there'll be another tape here. How do I get out of this? By pressing that button there. Presumably there's another tape here that I can get, and then I can play it on that player there. It's like Optimus Prime meets Woody. Right, never mind any of that. I've fallen over the train. I can't see another tape. But I can't see anything of particular importance or consequence in here, at least in terms of my investigation. No, I can see absolutely nothing. It's over here on one of these shelves and I missed it. No, there must be something here. This room wouldn't be pointless. As I was saying before, we haven't had any pointless rooms so far. And this game seems a bit too well constructed to have any pointless rooms in it. So, I feel like it must be here somewhere. But I sure as hell can't see it. No. Oh, there's a piece of paper here. Attention playroom staff. An electronic lock has been installed in the desk of the playroom. While watching the children, please keep your spare key to the work shed and personal belongings locked inside the drawer desk. The last thing we need is a child getting their hands on any tools and hurting themselves or one another. If for any reason you need to access the second floor and I am not available, John will have an extra set of keys that you can use. The code to open the drawer is let's write it down so that the children can read this piece of paper and then get hold of the key and then go into the tool shed and then get a chainsaw and then murder each other. A little bizarre. Right, what is it? 882519. Go! Huzzah. Okay, this will get me the key. Yep! Lovely! Thank you. Now, I was about to say, kindly screw off. And you did, before I even had a chance to say it. So thank you, psychic demon doll. Here's another tape. I'll have that gladly. And here is another key. Right, let's listen to this while I take a glass of water and calm down a little.
Looks like I'm stuck doing double duty. The young woman who was supposed to watch the children after class has quit. Unbelievable. It's hard to find good help these days. Speaking of help, I have continued my little investigation of John Torrance, our new hire. The children have taken quite the liking to him. Sometimes he dresses up in a silly bear costume to entertain them. I find it rather tiresome. These children need order and discipline if they have any hopes of being adopted. Not all children have grown close to him, though. One child in particular, Kyle Reed, seems afraid of him. John offered to be his mentor and help him with his struggling grades. But so far Kyle seems immune to his charm. Another thing that bothers me about John is his personality. He is very distant and short with other staff, almost to a point of being disrespectful. He seems to only open up to the children. It's all very confusing.
I'll tell you what's confusing, madam. Let me paint you a little picture. I is a person, and I is going to go into an orphanage and get a child. This sounds worse than it is, but you get what I'm going for. I think to myself, there are many children here. Which one might I like to adopt and give a home to? The fun, happy one that knows how to have a good time, or the one that does order and discipline like some sort of robotic Vulcan person? Yeah, it doesn't take Sherlock Holmes to figure out which child is probably going to be more preferred. But hey ho, what do I know? Not an awful lot, as my grades prove time and time again. Right, never mind any of that. Let's go upstairs to see what we can find in here. What? Is that not where the Is that not where the key goes? Oh no, that was the work shed, wasn't it? I remember. They did talk about the second floor, but that was John had an extra set of keys for them. Interesting. So the work shed must be one of these buildings. Goodness, they had a decent set of crowns on them, didn't they? Is this locked as well? There is no lock on this chain. It's been welded shut. I can't open these doors unless I can find a tool that will cut the chain. How about we just get somebody a little bit oversized to stand on there and then jump and then land on that bit? That might work. And to be honest with you, the wooden panelling of this door looks a heck of a lot weaker. To be honest, you can also just unscrew these hinges and then just take the doors off. But what do I know? Okay, right, there's the playroom, so it's probably the building closest to this playroom.
Right, so all the kids seem to like John apart from Kyle, and he's the one whose ghost I've seen. So possibly he was the first victim, or possibly he was the only victim. I don't know. Right, the door is locked. Ah, there we are. Okay, so perhaps sometimes you have to click on the key, or click on the lock rather, than clicking on the door. Right, here is another tape. Lovely stuff. We can go off and listen to some more craziness. Yep, let's listen to some more craziness. Or no, maybe we'll listen to someone else this time.
Someone has been messing around in my tool shed after hours. I've often returned in the morning to my tools scattered or missing. I don't know why they just don't ask me to borrow what they need. Only people who have a key to the shed other than myself at the moment are Allison, Director Foster and John. I know Allison sometimes needs extra tools for the greenhouse, but she always returns what she uses. Director Foster leaves at night, so it can't be him. That leaves John. But what could he be doing at night that requires my tools? I'm not one to start throwing accusations around, but I will bring up my concerns to Director Foster. We can't have random tools going unaccounted for with the children around. Someone could get hurt.
Goodness, that sounds positively competent. After listening to the last two logs by the last two lady, I thought he was going to be positively bonkers as well. I also thought that was John at first, but it's not. This sounds more like some sort of groundskeeper person, as opposed to John, who's usually more of a local enforcer, as it were. Interesting. So can I get any of these tools, like a pair of bolt cutters or something, that maybe I could use? Yes, these ones. Excellent. Don't actually do this with a pair of bolt cutters, it's very dangerous. Wow, that's a beautiful moon. Right then, okay. I'm just going to quickly poke around the other buildings to see if I can access them before we go into the basement. I must just say again, these kids actually didn't have it as bad as I think a lot of people in orphanages do. I must admit I've never seen like a real orphanage, so I don't know what they're really like, but the ones which are portrayed in movies and books and stuff always seem to be incredibly horrible, you know, with like, they don't have any sort of garden at all and no toys and nothing happy at all. Okay, these look like sleeping quarters, some sort of barracks perhaps. What's all this about? Looks like some sort of object fits here. Ah, okay, some sort of compass insignia perhaps, which allows me to open the door. Okay, that's kind of cool. So that'll allow me into that dormitory. I go in here. This was locked from the other side. Okay, so that means I can only access the entire dormitory with that one item. Right. I need to be careful. I don't know my own strength. Okay. They said that John's... Oh, this is a brand new flashlight. Can I get it working again? Oh, there we are. I just turned it off and turned it back on again. They said that John had a room down here, and they also said that John had a key to the second floor. And he had a sack, which I initially confused for a dead body. And here's another code for that. Not again. There we go. Perhaps if I can find his room, I can find a key to get to the second floor. Ah, well, I think we've found where some of the tools have gone. Here's another tape player. I don't see the tape, however. Oh, here it is. It's a red one. Verse 1. Oh, gosh. Secret cassette tape. I think you mean spooky cassette tape. Right, let's listen to verse 1.
And the herd casts itself in flesh to besiege, and seeks to sate its unending hunger by swallowing the souls of the living, which are then lost unto the shifting pits of Kanda, where the spheres of Yog-Sothoth steal those who have opened the gate unprepared, while the things that were and shall be again turn their bodies unto vassal shells for themselves. Catra emistrobin, Esanta Tandi Manon, Manses, Ohan Onsapar, Samantha Rosa, Kanda, Kanda, Kanda. 'Cause I can't stand the man on. Man sees. Oh, Han on Sapar, Samantha Rosa, Kanda, Kanda, Kanda. 'Cause I can't stand the man on. Man sees. Oh, Han on Sapar, Samantha Rosa, Kanda, Kanda, Kanda. 'Cause I can't stand the man on. Man sees. Oh, Han on Sapar, Samantha Rosa, Kanda, Kanda, Kanda. 'Cause I can't stand the man on. Man sees. Oh, Han on Sapar, Samantha Rosa, Kanda, Kanda, Kanda. 'Cause I can't stand the man on. Man sees. Oh, Han on Sapar, Samantha Rosa, Kanda, Kanda, Kanda. 'Cause I can't stand the man on. Man sees. Oh, Han on Sapar, Samantha Rosa, Kanda, Kanda, Kanda. 'Cause I can't stand the man on. Man sees. Oh, Han on Sapar, Samantha Rosa, Kanda, Kanda, Kanda. 'Cause I can't stand the man on. Man sees. Oh, Han on Sapar, Samantha Rosa, Kanda, Kanda, Kanda. 'Cause I can't
And tune in next week for another audio book of a story by H.P. Lovecraft. Goodness, that was creepy to listen to. I didn't enjoy that at all. Right. I mean, I did from like a horror perspective, but not from any other kind of perspective. What's that? There's something... There's like a book there. I can't quite see what it says. But it looks sort of important. It's the first book I've seen where it's actually got a bit of writing on it. All these things are in the way. I can't see it very well. Never... It got dark all of a sudden. Okay, right. We've got this big metal door here. Can I... Yeah, here we are. I can cut through this as well. And alive. He really didn't want people invading his privacy, did he? I mean, I can empathise, but still. Giddy aunt. I don't like the look of this. This seems less like creepy. What are these? 59. Giddy aunt. What the hell was that? That was very nicely done, but still. 26. 63. Right. I've already forgotten what the other numbers were. So that was 63. What was the middle one? 29. I'm going to have to go back and check it again now. A small statue of a lion's body. It is a locking mechanism where the head should be. Oh, okay. So if I can find the lion's head, I'll be able to open this box. Oh, that's cool. Very intricate. This was 20. This was 26. Sorry. And this one was 59. Oh, that's where I got the 9 from. I know I didn't just invent it from somewhere. Right, okay, so presumably that is going to be the key to get into this cupboard, which I reckon is going to have a doorway hidden behind it. So let's see what we can do with this. 6, 3, 2, 6, 5, 9. Huzzah. And off to Narnia we go. Where's that creature gone? I don't know. It has left all of its water behind. It's going to get dreadfully dehydrated. Why was there a prison cell down here? He hates the light. Oh, well, I won't shine the light at him then. We shouldn't do that. Is that why he's making the light die? Is it him that's doing that? A teddy bear. Kyle's teddy bear. Very nice indeed. An antique sewing machine. Yes, it's alright, mate. I do recognise it. An old VHS player. Would you like to save the game? Yes, please. That's very kind of you. An old gramophone. What is it doing down here? If I find any vinyls, I could play them here, because that's what we really need right now, isn't it? You know. I have nothing against listening to some nice classical music, but at the same time, is this really the time to be doing this? Hang on, I'm beginning to wonder, is it actually the child that it means he hates the light? Because it looks like the bear that's crossed about the light. Is it the bear that doesn't like the light? Press tab button to switch. Oh, these buttons again. This button. Okay, the top one clicked. That one's clicked as well. Is this like cracking a safe? Seems to be. No idea how that worked. That's cool. Okay, lion crest piece. Yeah, please tell me that's your dinner and not your excrement. Given there's 2 buckets of it, I'm gonna guess it's the excrement. Presumably that'll allow me to get into the dormitories. He seems terrified. I have to find a way to help him. Don't ask why I gravitated towards the chains then, when you suggested that idea. I feel like it's going to be the bear that's setting that light off. Why did John set up this prison? Oh, Gideon, it's still happening, it's still happening, it's still happening, it's still happening, it's not over yet. Oh my Gideon, that's what they mean by the bear. Oh gosh, why don't you don't seem to care about the light anymore. This is the problem. They said that John wore a bear costume, didn't they? That must be John, in the bear costume. Right, goodness. I can't go that way, that's a bit of a problem. I don't think I'm going to be able to... Oh gosh, not the time for my lights to die, really not the time. Come on, there we go, just get blinded for a minute. Come on, just Just would to stop it. Just would to stop it. Right, what? It's still locked. Oh goodness, now I'm stuck. Ouch. What happens if I click on this? Does this take me to a different point to my save or not? How does this differ from my save? This takes me back here. I'm not doing that. I wish to load to the save that I did. Don't remember go through all that again. Where's it? Load. Load the game. Yay! Yay! Happy. Right. If the frame rate could calm itself down for 5 shakes of the lamb's tail, that would be lovely. Okay, let's get this thing working again. And get hold of that. So that does go on the door, but I mustn't go there first. I need to do something else first. Right, giddy on. I was not expecting this game to take such a turn all of a sudden. Right. Turn the volume up for the sake of the audio cassettes, and then I kind of forgot that that's going to make all the jump scares super loud. Right, where am I going then? I need to go somewhere, presumably. I need to like hide or escape or run away or file my taxes. I don't pass around there. Where am I going? Upstairs into the 2nd floor, perhaps? I think that's where the key I got would take me. I can't shut this behind me. And I can't even look where I'm going now because I need to keep this on him. Where am I going? I need to escape him somehow. I need to find somewhere to hide. Which isn't in here because this is a dead end. Oh, come on, just get blinded again. Right, it seems I slightly suck at this. Where am I supposed to go? Because I need to get away from him somehow. But that's going to involve hiding somewhere. But I don't know where. That's the bit I don't get. Well, that plan didn't work. I was wondering whether it said he hates the light. I was wondering whether that was supposed to give me a clue that I was looking for a more aggressive stance to my attack. To like actually hurt him rather than just run away from him. But thus far I'm not having a great deal of success on any front. Not at all. Right, give me a minute. I'll figure out what the hell it is I'm meant to do, because at this point I'm beyond confused. And then we'll come back. Okay. He's over there. So it seems that by running over there and hiding behind the tool shed, I was able to get him to lose sight of me. So what I've now got to do is to continue to avoid him while achieving my objectives. So if I put this in here, that gives me half of what I need. So I need to find the other half. And I'm going to guess that it's probably on the 2nd floor of the building. Okay, he's going off that way towards the gas tank and the tool shed again, which is good. I'm just going to keep the light off for the time being, because I know he doesn't like it. Which I can use that as a weapon, but I also don't want to use it as something that will lure him towards me when I'm just trying to keep it a little bit more discreet. Okay, I can have the light out now, it'll be alright. Okay, so I've got to explore this floor and hopefully find the... What? This isn't West of Loathing, mate. Right.
Presumably the other half of the insignia must be here somewhere. Okay. I think this is some kind of staff brick. Ah, yeah, I reckon it's probably in here. A bit more safe cracking to be done. Yay! Oh, it was upside down, and now here's a component of a teddy bear. Because of course there was. Bear part. Indeed. Do not know why I have that, frankly, or why it was so precious and needed to be locked away. But, oh no, he's come upstairs. No, that's the last thing I need. Oh, gosh. This does add a genuine sense of tension, however. You really do not want to bump into him by accident. So he's going to be patrolling around, and I've got to try and get everything going despite his presence. Because there's no way I can do this on the run. I can't do it while I'm running around. He's too fast. I can slow him down with the use of the light, but that involves walking backwards all the time, and I can't achieve my objectives while I'm walking backwards. I can't break it. I'll need the key. An old fire escape ladder. It's locked. Ah. That's back out into the entryway. The garden that I entered by. That must be the ending then. When I get the key to that, I can get the ladder going, and then I can escape. Okay, I'm just going to turn the light off and back up a little bit. So I'm just going to see if a shadow appears in the corridor. Because it's difficult to tell which floor he's on. He might even still be outside for all I know. I can't tell. Right, nurse's station. See if there's anything here. This is locked. There's another tape player there, but nothing else I can see. Is that another box there on that little table? Another box that might have another bear part in it? What is it with those bear parts? Do I need to reconstruct Kyle's teddy bear? Because we did see a picture of that earlier. Can I get in here? The door is welded shut with metal brackets. I need something that can melt through them. Giddy. Okay, so we need like a blowtorch or something? It's a little industrial. Yeah, we just stop it. What was I talking about? I don't know. I think we need to reconstruct Carl's teddy bear, judging by the bear parts. That's not a face I needed to see this evening. Stop getting into kissing distance, mate. Right, okay. Anything else around here? Some books. A chess set with a big red button next to it, as if you were going to set off. What? Some of the squares can be pushed down. Okay. So these have grid references. Like this is A5, this is B6, this is H6. And I need to find the correct combination of buttons to press, one presumes. There's another thing here which is locked. What the hell is this? I can't tell if that's a wolf or a pig or something in the middle. Again, there's another combination lock, or code even, for this desk drawer. But I can't access that without a combination for that either. So I'm missing many combinations to open many boxes and things. I can't access any of them right now. Gideon, that sounds far too close. I just wish I could see where he was. I also wish I could shut the doors behind me. That would be lovely. Okay, so right now I haven't made a hell of a lot of progress. I haven't found the second part of the insignia, and I haven't found a majority of the bear pieces. I must have missed some stuff. Let me poke around these rooms again for another couple of minutes and see if I can find anything else. Well, I am completely stuck. I've been wandering around for about 5 or 10 minutes, and I haven't made any progress. I can't find any information that gives me a clue as to the combination for the chessboard. Oh, we found another tape. Well, that's joyous. I love the last red tape that we listened to. Well, at least we listened to that and we said we found something new, but other than that, I'm completely lost. I can't find the key to get into the nurse's station. I can't find the tool, not even in the tool shed, to burn the locks off the door for the director's room. I can't find the second half of this. And I'm just massively, massively confused. But let's head back down to where we found Kyle and listen to that extra tape we've got, and then I'm probably going to have to look it up because at this point I'm completely lost as to what I'm supposed to be doing. Unless the tool is in here somewhere, but the only tools I've seen are these ones. There's no sort of welding tool or anything like that. Great, that told me everything I needed to know. That didn't help at all. I really do get the impression that these red tapes don't actually help you. I didn't see that there before. Not that it helps much. I really do feel like we need to reconstruct this bear. Maybe use like the sewing machine to do that? Because it is like highlightable. Maybe if I bring all the components back, I'll be able to do this. But I definitely don't have the components. I only have like an arm and a head. Can I see what I've got? If I can remember the buttons. What do I have? Office key, playroom key, a drawing, bolt cutters, second floor key, bear part, one of the arms. The head. I could use the sewing machine to place it back together, but I'll need the bear body first. Yeah, so that answers that question. But where do I get the rest of the components? Because I can't find them anywhere. Alright, let me save the meager amount of progress I've got found. Let me have a look and see if I can find like a guide or something, because I'm absolutely lost right now. Right. It was on the underside of here. Probably should have thought about that. Probably should have thought of that. Right. Just please tell me that was the one missing ingredient I needed and everything is now going to flow naturally. Tape. Whoop-de-doodle. Can we have something a bit more useful than a tape? Yes, we can. Okay, good. That's what I needed. I just need the one string that then links me to everything else, so I don't get stuck in another rut. Right, let me just mark down these coordinates and then we can listen to that extra tape. Hopefully this one will sound slightly less like we're tuning into the bowels of hell.
Kyle Reed has become quite a handful. Ever since his best friend Eric was adopted, he rapidly burst out in fits of anger followed by periods of withdrawal. The only thing that seems to calm it down is an old teddy bear. The teddy bear is the only thing that was found with him when his mother abandoned him at the front gates of the orphanage when he was just a baby. It's not healthy for a child in his early teens to still be attached to a stuffed animal. But for now, I think it's important for his mental and emotional well-being. If he continues down this path, he will face increasingly harsh punishment for his misbehavior. I will continue monitoring him, and will report back to Director Foster.
So let me get this straight. A child was abandoned by their mother at an extremely young age and left at the doorstep of an orphanage, and you're expecting them to behave like a normal teenager. First and foremost, there's no such thing as a normal teenager. And secondly, that is totally ridiculous. You absolute dingbat. Right, there's a certain... Yeah, I know that. I was pressing the frickin' buttons wrong. I don't know if there's a sequence to these in terms of which order you need to press them in, but I'm going to press them in the order of... I've already done it wrong, I think. Have I already done it wrong? Yeah, I have already done it wrong. Just see whether it's B6. Where's B6? Oh, it's that one. Oh no, I didn't. Did I do it wrong? I don't know. Gideon's right. Sorry. My brain is slightly fried at the moment. It always gets that way when I get stuck on something. Oh, it's written right there instead of the rubbish scrawling I had in my blasted bit of frickin' paper. Right. Let's just take a moment, relax, reset, and do this properly, because this is a good game and I don't want to get cheesed off at it just because I didn't turn the frickin' wolf's head upside down. Right. A5. Now for D5. Then B4. Then F4. Then H6. Then B6. There we go. Okay, where does this go? Nurse station key and the second half of the lion crest. Okay, good. Now we are beginning to make some progress. So this will get me access to the medical station, and it will get me access to the sleeping quarters. He doesn't seem to come upstairs very much, unless... Well, so far he's never come upstairs apart from when he's been directly chasing me. So that is at least somewhat encouraging. Okay, what do we have here? That's kind of cute. Happy birthday, Kelly. Congratulations on joining the old fart gang. There's a date there, which might be of importance. So I'm just going to scribble that down for the sake of it. 54? Gideon, she joined a long time ago, didn't she? What does this say? I am filing this report with much concern. Some of the sedatives used to calm the children who have anxiety or trouble sleeping have gone missing. There is evidence the lock on my door has been tampered with. I am requesting the director install one of the new number lock pads on the medication locker. If this persists, I will have to notify the authorities. I could lose my nursing license over this. Right, Gideon, what the hell is that? I didn't realise he'd gotten into that much merchandise. What the hell is this? Presumably I need to find the correct time for this. I don't think I've seen any times written down so far, so that's going to have to wait its turn for the minute. This is locked. That's a pain in the neck. Let's see if I can open this with a code. So it was 021154. Good. Okay, well at least I worked that out on my own. Okay, here's another one of these. Just give me another piece of the bear. Yes, okay, so I could now sew the pieces together, but I'm still missing an arm and 2 legs. So, it's a start, but it's not all of what I need. So what time could I possibly put on that? Is the time on this clock? Well, that's like 10 past... I was supposed to say 10 past 9, but the hour hand is pointing at it to look more like 10 to 10. That is horrifically loud and very, very close. But these only go in 15-minute increments. mean, there's only so many combinations this could be. So I guess, yeah, there we are. It's worth trying to figure it out. So it was meant to be 12:15. I don't know how that works, but I don't care. I didn't need to find the piece of paper for that because there weren't enough combinations to make that impossible to do. Right, what key was that? Greenhouse key? No. It must have been more recent than that. Small key, used for a lockbox or something like that. That'll be for this then. Okay, and here's another tape. Right, okay, good. That'll give me a chance to rest my voice for a second. Nurse's tape.
I'm hiding this tape as a record just in case anything happens to me. I found out who has been stealing medication from my office when I'm not here. It's John Torrance. After he installed the new keypad lock on the medication locker, I asked him to set the combination to my birthday. Only he and I knew this, and within days more medication had gone missing. It has to be him. I fear I am in danger as well as the children. Some of them have come into the office with bruising on their bodies. One child, Carl Reed, has bruising on his neck and wrist, which suggests he's been restrained. Director Foster has not been in his office for the past week. No one knows where he is. John Torrance is an animal. He must be stopped.
He is an animal. He's a bear. A bear with noodly limbs. Right, if we finished in here, then I think we've got everything that we can from here. Right then. So now I can get into the... I want to keep calling them the barracks for some stupid reason. But what I'm going to try and do first is sew the bear back together, because I want to get down to that room and use this VHS player to save. So let me try to navigate my way back downstairs. And I'm not just talking about how I felt about most of my videos before we move beyond that blasted clip on the microphone I started out with. Okay, right. There we are. Let's just go down here, save, and try and sew it together. It might say I need all of the pieces, but at least I can put a few of them together. Possibly. Okay, right. Let's save. There we go. Okay, can I use this? Oh, here we are. Bear part was used. Another bear part was used. There we go. Okay, good. Let's just save that again. There we go. It will make sense here that we were constructing the bear here, because of course that's where the picture of the bear is. Do we have to find the scarf as well? Possibly. Okay. Let's go into the barracks. The dormitory. Sorry. Sometimes my brain gets sort of transfixed on things, and then it just can't let them go. It's like a dog with a bone sometimes. It's not. How did you see me when you were over there and there was literally a post between us instead of 10 seconds earlier when you were like 5 meters closer and there wasn't a post between us? You great big stupid person. Circling around here always seems a good option for losing him. I'm never quite sure why. Possibly because it breaks line of sight? I don't know. I haven't fully worked out his mechanics yet. Because it does seem like he gets stuck on a hell of a lot of stuff. It does seem like you're slightly more stealthy with the light off, but of course you want the light on when you're running away because it blinds him for a second. Okay, right. Really wish I could shut these doors behind me. Okie dokie then. I don't think I can read any of this. Let's see if we can find Kyle's bed, because I reckon some more components of the bear might be there. Yes, here we are. I like that these aren't too complicated, because if we had to find a combination for every single one of these, that'd be very cross. Okay, good. Here's the other arm. Or possibly one of the feet. I'm honestly not convinced. I am aware of which. Is there going to be something hidden at the bottom of this bathtub? Yes, there is. Welcome home, Eric. Okay, so that's just a little extra creepiness that you're adding in. This is a nice touch. A confusing touch. Family, knowledge, faith. That almost seems like some kind of motto of the orphanage. Like, you'll have a family with the other children and the staff, you'll learn in the school, and you'll have faith. Presumably referencing the sort of religious texts that we saw printed up on the walls, that sort of thing. Anything in there? Hopefully not. No, indeed. Alright then. So we didn't really get anything out of this room, but we did see some interesting creepy stuff. Which is nice. Alright then. Let's see what else we can find. Anything in here? Yeah, there's some stuff. I don't think we can have any of it though. There's a bizarre, anatomically accurate picture of a heart, or a actual heart, quite possibly. I can't even think of a word to describe it. Like a prop almost. Let's see what else we can find. Some bottles of something under there. Many little books. All quite charming and innocent thus far. Which is nice. Hopefully that means John wasn't anywhere near it. Frankly, I dread to think what he was doing to some of these kids. Oh, there's a little dark figure under there. I think it's a little, a knight. Sort of dark knight type figure. Not as in Dark Knight, as in like, you know, like that one. I mean like the, you know, swordy, horsey ones. Sorry, my brain is slowly shutting down playing this. I apologise if I'm not as eloquent as I normally would be. Okay, here we are. Good. We'll only need a couple more components after this. There we go. What the hell? Did I... Oh. I'm not mad for thinking that all three have already clicked, have they? Okay, yeah, that's definitely a foot. I know feet, and that is, don't ask why, but that is definitely a foot. Okay then. Ah, this wasn't a dormitory, this was a church. Well, that certainly confirms the whole faith thing we were talking about before. And here's another tape. Old sermon. I don't wish to hear your old sermons, mate. I don't even wish to hear your reprised sermons. Okay, these are all attached by cables to this podium. These three statues of one's holding a book, one's praying, and one's holding a child. Ah, family, knowledge, and faith. Maybe I need to hit them in that sequence if this doesn't work. Nothing happened. Yes. Let me quickly go back. It was family, knowledge. Yeah, it was family, knowledge, and faith. This must be the right combination. Yes! Here we go. Right, excellent. There's the final piece of the bear. There's that piece of the lion that I forgot about. And here's the blowtorch. Okay. Okay. This is going to make us a lot of progress. Fantastic. Oh, good. Now we can listen to the old sermon. And severely regret that I pressed that button. I think we get the picture. I think we figured it out. I think we can leave it there. My giddy yards. There was a movie once. I'm trying to remember the name. I think, was it called Robin and the Seven Hoods? I think it was called Robin and the Seven Hoods. In which there was this group of people that were drinking lots of alcohol, and then like in a sort of a churchy type of building, and then some people, some sort of law enforcement people, come into the building, and then in order for these drunkards, these drinkers, to prevent themselves from being caught, whether they're setting prohibition or something like that, they pretend to not be drinkers, but actually be a sort of Alcoholics Anonymous kind of thing, while singing a song called Mr. Booze, which Family Guy went off and copied, for better or for worse. I was reminded enormously of that upon listening to that. I was expecting an actual demonic-sounding sermon, not just a bunch of people having a little sing-song. But I'm very confused. Let's put this on to listen to while we do this. What? Teddy will not hurt you while the lullaby is playing. So what? You mean Teddy? You mean John, don't you? You don't mean this little Teddy. Can I give you the teddy bear?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. You might want to have a bath. Oh, goodness. Seems his abilities go beyond that of bath. Teddy would bother you no longer. That's nice of Teddy. Goodness, what am I doing now? I feel like I've completely lost my train of thought. Oh, I've got the blowtorch, haven't I? I've got the blowtorch. I can get into the director's office now. So is John just gone then? And I'm convinced that is John. I feel like they're referring to him as Teddy to try and sort of not throw you off the scent, but not give away the secret if you haven't picked up on that detail. But they said that John had a bear costume that he used to try and entertain the children. But yes, here we are. Good, good, good. Fancy and very pancy. Right, what the hell is that? We'll get to that in 5 shakes of the proverbial lamp's proverbial tail. Let's just rummage through here in case we can find anything, which means we can look at that instead of whatever that is over there by the desk. Nothing else? Nope, some trophies. I dread to think what they are for. Number 1! Number 1 something. Number 1 embezzlement of fees, but oddly not on the ceiling. Anything else? Yeah. No. Something vaguely demonic looking, but not really demonic enough looking. Goodness. A multi-talented director, presumably into ballet, horse riding, and, I don't know, flamenco dancing. One doesn't know. Anything written on the back of this? No. Sort of an eagle sitting on a lion's head. Oh, I'm taking this with me, am I? Evening, sir. Can I help you with something? Yeah, that was a mistake. Yeah, that was a big mistake. Man alive, that smile was a bit Joker-escent. Oh, my hand's fine. Of course it is. Right, I'll have the demonic tome now, shall I? Kitty. Disgusting book. Very disgusting. Kitty yarns. A lot of design and effort have gone into his character model, and I approve of that. Very, very interesting. So, oh, there was a key hidden under it. I didn't see that at first. The fire escape key. Good, we can finally escape. So I haven't found any more tapes here. I haven't found anything that I could play on there. And where would the crest go? Oh, it goes there. Ah, this is where you find the final tape. The secret confession tape. Frankly, mate, I dread to think what kind of kinky confessions you were going to say. But let's have a listen. Hidden tape 5? Oh, that means I've missed a few. Well, I mean, we haven't... No, because surely... That one's got to be one of the hidden tapes, right? Because it's got to be all like the red ones, surely. Does this play if I come out of
The
this?
preparations are complete. I will soon ascend and be with the Dark Ones. John will carry out the sacrifices that must be made. The blood of the pure must be spilled. John believes he will join me in my ascension, but he is nothing more than a means to an end. I took him under my wing with promises of wealth, power, and eternal life. He was hired here to first get close to the children, then to extract suffering from them by any means necessary. And while some of the staff might begin to catch on to him, they will never suspect me pulling the strings behind the scenes. He is the perfect scapegoat, and his corrupted soul combined with the soul of Kyle Reed, of which I selected to endure the harshest of suffering, should be more than enough to fuel the dark ritual. But to be sure, I have ordered John to kill as many children and staff as he can. On the day of days, I leave this cassette so that others may know what will truly happen here, and know that nothing could be done to stop it.
My only regret about that knife going in your head is that it wasn't my hand that drove it in there. Well, that was a twist I didn't see coming. I suppose I should have guessed it when the nurse said that the medication was being stolen, because the director was the only person that knew the combination, other than herself, of course. Well, that answers a lot of questions. In fact, it answers all of them. I reckon we've about had it in this place. So if you don't mind, I'm going to get the hell out of here and then go and tell my story to a newspaper person, probably. Right. Can I go down? How the hell am I going to climb down this? How am I going to climb down this? Because I have to climb onto the other side. I don't know. I don't much care either. For crying out loud, you could have jumped off that, friend. Never mind. Dear. Let's just get the hell out of here. And never return. Never, ever, ever return to this demonic place.
Thank you, Eric. I'm free now.
Yay, happy ending. The good ending. Eric Stoll fled the orphanage with everything he found. He decided to he decided to slap Phil in the face because he couldn't speak English. He decided to leak what he could to the Herald. With overwhelming evidence and demand from locals, the police department was forced to reopen the Weeping Falls Massacre case. While the whereabouts of John Torrance and director Foster are still unknown, that wasn't... Oh, I assumed that was director Foster and the desk, the guy with the knife in his head. But thinking about it, he had John's ID card on him. Maybe that was John then, so maybe... I assumed that the whole idea had failed, because I thought that was the director's body there at the desk, and he turned into some sort of dead ghoul creature. I assumed he'd failed. But then if the director wasn't there, then he probably didn't fail, and he probably escaped to some other kind of realm. But then, who was in the bear suit? Unless, after I constructed the bear and gave it to Kyle, he then sort of abandoned the bear suit and then went to wait up in the director's office. But he couldn't have done that, because I saw the bear after I saw that the director's office had been closed shut with those welded metal panels. I don't... Unless that wasn't John in the bear suit. Unless that was someone else. Unless that was someone else that was just using John's bear suit. But John is the only person here who we know has committed murder. So who else could it have been? I don't know. I don't have all the answers to this, and I like that. I like that there's some mystery left in this. While the whereabouts of John Torrance and director Foster is still unknown, Eric takes solace in the fact that he was able to help the spirit of his childhood friend Kyle find peace. He now feels the door is closed on this dark chapter of his life. Yes. So we got the good ending. I have a funny feeling I know how we get the bad ending, and I'm going to have a quick go at getting it. So, let me see if I can manage that. Okay, so I started a new game this time, and now I'm going to leave. Does this get me the bad ending? Coward ending. Unable to muster the courage to enter...
Man, game over, man. It's game over. What the are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?
Unable to muster the courage to enter the orphanage, Eric got in his truck and left. He gained no closure and no evidence of what truly happened at the Weeping Falls orphanage. Interesting. I wonder if there's some kind of middle ground, perhaps, where you could collect, like... Maybe if you collected the evidence, but you didn't give Kyle the bear? Because Kyle said he was free once we gave him the teddy bear, and I'm wondering whether the bear is optional. So you can go through it and get the evidence of what happened, and then not give him the bear, and then leave. That maybe gets you like the evidence ending, but not the sort of the positive child is sorted out ending like we got. But then I wonder if most of the evidence seems to come from the confession tape. That's where the majority of the evidence is, and I don't feel like that was necessary to be gotten. So maybe there's also another ending where you can give Kyle the bear so that he escapes or sets himself free, but then you don't collect enough evidence that you're not able to prove that the case needs to be reopened, and get the authorities involved, but at least you've sorted out Kyle, if nothing else. So there might be a couple of different endings that you can do, depending on exactly how much you get and how much you don't get. But I'm very glad that we got the good ending, because it's extremely rare in a game with multiple endings where I get the good ending on my first try. So that was impressive. I apologise that I got a little bit cross at it. It was just that one stumbling block of not thinking about turning the bust over, which I should have realised, because there's nothing in this game which hasn't been useful. There's nothing which you can interact with which is totally useless. From like the record player to the VHS player, the sewing machine, the busts, the boxes, the chessboard, the crest, the boxes, the notes, the tapes, they all have something useful in them. I should have realised that bust hadn't been used for anything and gone back and looked at it again. Because if you can pick an item up but you can't take it into your inventory, there must be a reason for picking it up and looking at it, at least in this game. In many games you can just pick stuff up randomly and look at it and it doesn't do anything, but in this game it's been very carefully designed that everything has a place and everything is useful. So I should have tweaked that a lot sooner, but at least we got to the end of it. So that was really impressive. I really enjoyed that. Genuinely quite creepy and quite scary. That little doll at the beginning was very, very, very effective, and the certainly the scare with the bear the first time when you're going back out through the cupboard in the basement, that was extremely effective. I think I'd say the mechanics of the bear enemy are relatively effective. I just wish that I could figure out the consistency of the light, because it seems like if you shine the light on him, it doesn't permanently stop him from chasing you. It just stops for a little bit, and exactly with how long he stays blinded for and how far away you can be and the blinding effect will actually work is a little confusing to me. But that could just be because I have nothing between my ears whatsoever. But anyway, this game was very enjoyable. I had a very good time playing this. I hope you did as well. and I look forward to seeing what else these developers make, because this has a they have a huge amount of promise if they're making stuff this good. So maybe we'll play something else of theirs one day. So I'm off to bed now because I'm absolutely knackered. If you're wondering why I recorded this when I'm so tired, it's just because I haven't recorded anything apart from like the main running series in weeks, so I was massively behind on stuff, so I've been trying to record loads of stuff, and obviously that's taking a toll, which is a bit stupid of me, but as I have previously stated, between here and here, that is the grand total of a lot of empty space, so we should leave it there, I think, before I embarrass myself any further. So thank you very much for joining me this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Look after each other, and good night.